This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Of all the smug and disingenuous individuals who work in Washington among the Republican Party, there might not be anyone as shameless or dignity-free as Ted Cruz. In the wake of the 2016 fiasco of the Republican primary, we witnessed Ted Cruz debase himself. He came out hard against Donald Trump. Donald Trump said some horrible things about his own wife. And then we catch Ted Cruz on the phones trying to get Donald Trump elected. And since then, he has been nothing but a sycophantic, bootlicking lapdog for Donald Trump. And this clip is just, it is chef's kiss. It is a delight to watch because it exposes him as the charlatan and liar and hypocrite and dignity-free actor that he is. On with Margaret Brennan from Face the Nation, discussing his passionate desire to limit the terms of United States senators, of United States members of the House of Representatives, to 2 terms for senators, 3 terms for Congress people in the House. Now, it should be noted that Ted Cruz is running for his 3rd term in the United States Senate while faking like he wants term limits. In fact, I believe the quote is, he's a passionate defender of term limits, and he thinks Congress would work much better if every senator were limited to 2 terms. It would work better if he only had 2 terms, yet he seeks a 3rd. Liar, hypocrite. Watch this, not surprising, but yet still remarkable clip from this weekend.
Senator, I want to ask you about something here at home. You also introduced a bill to limit terms to 2 6-year terms in office for senators. Why aren't you holding yourself to that standard? You said you're running for a 3rd term.
Well, listen, I'm a passionate defender of term limits. I think that Congress would work much better if every senator were limited to 2 terms, if every House member were limited to 3 terms. I've introduced a constitutional amendment to put that into the Constitution.
But you're still running.
And if and when it passes, I will happily comply. I've never said I'm going to unilaterally comply. I'll tell you what, when the socialists and when the swamp are ready to leave Washington, I will be more than happy to comply by the same rules that apply for everyone. But until then, I'm going to keep fighting for 30 million Texans because that's the job they've asked me to do.
I think you heard.
Well, first of all, 30 million Texans didn't ask you to do the job, dipshit. You didn't win with 30 million votes. Liar. You might think you're representing 30 million people, but there is roughly half that doesn't want you there, that has nailed you and knows your character, Ted Cruz. Secondly, and if and when it passes, I will gladly or happily comply. Oh, you will? You'll comply happily once it's law? You mean everyone else might possibly be stuck with 2 terms in the Senate, and I guess I'll comply. Is everybody else going to be asking the question, why is Ted still running? Why is he still getting terms in the Senate when we all have term limits? You won't have a choice but to comply, dum-dum. It is just one more tick mark in the long tally list of Republican hypocrisy. Ted Cruz doesn't want term limits for himself at all. The endorsement of a constitutional amendment, it just means he knows it's not going anywhere, and he can virtue signal that this is something he wants. Because if he truly believed that term limits were the way to go, and it would make the Senate work much better, then he would bow out and not run for a 3rd term, at the completion of which would be 18 years in the United States Senate. A career's worth of dignity-free performances. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about this. I think I can guess, but we can mix it up in the comments. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. You can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I am happy to be back after last week's filling in for David Pakman. Thanks for tuning in while I was away, while Brittany Page was filling in for me. Kind of a dominoes kind of a situation with the fill-ins. I would ask you, and I'm sure she would appreciate this, if you go subscribe to her YouTube channel, Brittany Page. She is building something here that is a little different than what is seen on the YouTube landscape, drilling down on some very important issues in a non bombastic way. If you do like the bombastic, please consider supporting my work right here on the channel. You can click the join button, become a channel member for $2 a month, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I also, if you enjoyed Brittany Page filling in, we host a podcast together, a twice weekly podcast called I Doubt It. It is not this YouTube channel. It is something completely different, twice weekly, about an hour long. It's a lot more unbuttoned, if you will. And we would welcome you to subscribe and check that out. Follow me on social media. I am at Dollemore just about everywhere. I'd love to see you there. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Dollemore. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.